brain, it's Barndoor brain. Skew it up, boys, these RBGs be insane. Big brain, it's a Barndoor brain. Every time we hit ready, it's already the game.
Hey guys, Barndoor here again, coming back at you with another Demon Hunter guide. Today talking about Vengeance Demon Hunter in PvP. More specifically talking about in rated battlegrounds and possibly world PvP. Not so much about arenas. Vengeance is not in a place where I would want to play it in 2s or 3s right now. But it is definitely in the meta, and I would almost say one if not the best tank for rated battlegrounds right now. So let's take a look, guys. Let's get into it. So first of all, we're going to start off with our gear. Going to talk about our gear, the itemization. Going to talk about our talents, our conduits, and then get into our legendary. And lastly today, we're going to talk a little bit about gameplay. Some things I think you should really know if you're going to be tanking in rated battlegrounds in this first Shadowlands season. We are going to talk about legendaries as well. I know a lot of you guys are been asking me questions about what to do for legendaries, what to do for gear, what to do for Soulbinds, Conduits, stuff like that. So let's take a look, guys. First of all, this is the cookie cutter build. I would say as far as tanking, the beauty of this build is this isn't anything that you need to change based on a comp or based on where you're tanking at, whether it be Seething Shore, whether it be Warsong Gulch, Twin Peaks. This is something that you can just leave on there and you can run for every match. So, starting out, I will take Abyssal Strike. Before we talk about that, let's talk about why you shouldn't take the other two. So, the other two are good. I have experimented with the other two. Agonizing Flames. Immolation Aura increases your movement speed and its duration by 50%. Well, its movement speed by 20 and its duration by 50%. This is good. I played with this a little bit. I did like it for a time. And I also liked the movement, the lunge per se, that Fellblade gives you. But in the end, I really settled on Abyssal Strike. And what this does, it creates a signal of flame, which does some damage when you land, but that's not really the reason you want to take this talent. You want to take this talent because of the other thing that it does, and its cooldown is reduced by 8 seconds. Yes, your jump, your leap, is reduced by 8 seconds. That means that you can do one of these 8 seconds sooner, right? You can definitely get across the map a lot quicker. Our next talent choice is going to be Fallout. Immolation's initial burst has a chance to shatter lesser soul fragments. This is really big. I would say it says it has a chance to shatter lesser soul fragments. I would say if you're a tank in the middle of the enemy team and you pop Immolation Aura, you're definitely getting a couple soul fragments out of there for sure. The other talents I've taken a look at. I can't say that I've run them because they just don't, they're just not good, right? Soul Cleave heals you for additional 1,000 over 6 seconds. That's not a very big heal in over 6 seconds. That's ticking for, a couple hundred when you have 60, 50, 60, 70k health. That's just absolutely not something that I would take. As well as Burning Alive. Every 2 seconds, firebrand spreads to one nearby enemy. This is good for damage, but you're going to want those lesser soul fragments for sure. Moving on, Infernal Armor. Immolation Aura increases your armor by 20% and causes your attackers to suffer 103 fire damage. Well, it's what my tooltip says, 103. Basically, the big takeaway here is you need the extra armor by Infernal Immolation Aura. Sorry, I can't talk today. Charred Flesh isn't really something I would ever take. I don't think there'd be any situation. Spirit Bomb is something I used to take, maybe in an early BFA season. It was kind of the meta a long time ago, but the healing it does is just, it's just not worth it. The you're going to get more of a value off of a 20% increased armor when you have Immolation up, for sure. Next up in the next row of talents, Feed the Demon. Consuming a soul fragment reduces the remaining cooldown of Demon's Spikes. Now, this is a very important talent because of the PvP talent that we run, which is Jagged Spikes, but we will get to that in a second. Now, it says consuming a soul fragment reduces the cooldown by 0.5 seconds. You would think this isn't a lot, but remember, right, we're getting soul fragments every time we hit with our shear, and you also have a chance to get even more soul fragments every time you pop Immolation Aura, basically meaning you are in an overabundance of soul fragments at all times. And what this does is you've got 5 soul fragments around you. That's each one of those is 0.5 second reduced. That's 2.5 seconds you got just for having 5 soul fragments all around you. And you've got 2 charges of that Demon Spikes. You almost have 100% uptime on Demon Spikes when you're being trained. Almost. As far as Fracture, as far as Soul Rending, the Leech, you don't do enough damage to where Leech is going to be something that really helps you. Even 25% Leech, because of the amount of damage that you do in Vengeance. At least the initial damage, it's just not... the numbers don't match up. It's not enough healing. You definitely want those Demon Spikes for the damage. Now, granted, let me catch myself before you guys all jump in the comments yelling at me. Barndoor, you said we don't do enough damage in one part, and then in another part you said we do a lot of damage. Well, yes, we don't do enough damage to where Leech is something that's going to be viable for us, but as a Demon Hunter tank, you do a lot of damage, and that has a lot to do with the way that I run Demon Hunter as well, because when I do flag carry maps, when I do Seething Shore, when I do any maps where I'm going to play Vengeance on a battleground, I'm scary, right? I can land kills by myself. I can kill people 1v1 by myself. I can take bases. So definitely Demon Hunters do a lot of damage. It's just they don't do damage to where Leech is something that it's going to be enough healing. Moving on, this is something that I played around with a lot as well. Quicken Sigils. All Sigils activate 1 second faster, and their cooldowns are reduced by 20%. That 1 second faster isn't exactly like you can get used to it, whether it's 1 second faster or not. But the big thing here is their cooldowns are reduced by 20%. That big silence, your Sigil of Silence, and your Sigil of Mystery, which is a big 5 second fear, that is definitely something you want up as soon as possible, as much as possible. So that 20% cooldown reduction is, I would say it's definitely necessary. I find it better than Sigil of Chains, because pulling everybody into one area, it's not... I find having the 20% cooldown reduction on Sigil of Misery to be a little bit better. I find I'm not using Sigil of Chains as much, and as far as concentrated sigils, I rarely ever go into it. For our next row of talent, Demonic Fell Devastation causes you to enter demon form for 6 seconds after it finishes dealing damage. This is going to be one of your big defensives. Fell Devastation is a big defensive when you are tanking, right? It basically, you enter demon form when you're spec'd into this, and you heal yourself. You do a little bit of damage. The damage is negligible. It's not really that much, but you really want that Fell Devastation to heal back up. And then the build that we have, the build that we're running here, it especially with a conduit, right? We're going to get into that in a second. The conduit that we have, you definitely are going to want to have go into demon form, because when you go into demon form, when you cast that Fell Devastation, it's basically like popping Metamorphosis. You increase your maximum health. Therefore, the health that you do have is by percentage base increased. So you're at 20% health. Say it's a flat. Say you have 100k. I know the numbers are weird. You're at 20% health. You have 100k health, meaning you have 20k health, and then you pop your Metamorphosis. that 100k is going to be increased, right? And then again, the numbers are weird right now. I'm at like 63k health, but I'm using 100k just so you guys can understand. But anyway, so you're at 20k health because that's 20% of your maximum health. All of a sudden you pop Fell Devastation, your maximum health increases, but so does the amount of health that you have. So instead of having 20k health, now you have 40k health. Now you have 45. Now you have 35. So you get more health based on the percentage, and this is something is definitely can be used for a defensive as well as with the Conduit that we're going to get into. It's really big. You guys will 100% notice the heal. It will be a huge heal when you press Fell Devastation. Just make sure you are hitting an enemy when you press Fell Devastation. That's an important thing to remember. Next up, the last row of talents here, Last Resort. Not much to talk about here. Ruinous Bulwark nor Bulk Extraction either are worth talking about when it comes to this last row of talents, because Last Resort, sustaining fatal damage, causes you to, instead of dying, go back into Metamorphosis form, gain a little bit of health back, gain a lot of damage reduction back, and you maintain alive. I mean, who doesn't want a second life? Who doesn't want to stay alive again? You know, everybody's seen those matches in a battleground, rated battlegrounds, where just one extra second, if you would have been alive for one more second, we could have healed you, we could have got to you, we could have capped the flag, we could have won the BG. So Last Resort is definitely going to be, I would almost say, a mandatory talent for this last row. Next up, moving on, we've got Jagged Spikes here for our PvP talents. Again, with the regular talents, I do not run a lot of these other talents at all. These are Jagged Spikes, Illidari's Grasp, and Demonic Trample is my go-to spec as far as PvP talents. Now, let's read Demon Spikes here. Jagged Spikes. While Demon Spikes is active, melee attacks against you cause physical damage equal to 30% of the damage back to the attacker. If they hit you for 10k, you just hit them back for 3k. That is huge, because remember, with our Feed the Demon and with our Fallout, this is the thing. This whole spec, it works together so well, guys. It really does. With our Fallout, we're getting more Soul Orbs. When you get those Soul Orbs, it reduces the damage of Demon Spikes. Demon Spikes reflects 30% damage back, and you have it at almost 100% uptime. That is huge. That means if somebody is sitting there wailing on you, they're actually killing themselves, right? You can pop Fell Devastation, you can heal back up, you can press your Trinket, you can get heals. They're going to kill themselves just wailing on you forever. Next up is Illidari's Grasp, and this is a very useful. It was changed. It used to, in BFA, be able to throw people, but instead, now it just keeps them on a stun, basically, for 6 seconds. But there's a neat little trick that not a lot of people know that we're going to get into later when we get into gameplay at the end of this guide. At the end of this guide, tune in. If you want, you can skip to the end. I will leave timestamps in the description below. But you are definitely going to want to see why Illidari's Grasp is a huge benefit to take. Other than just because of having a 5-second stun, or I guess it's classified as an in-cap right now. And then Demonic Trample. Demonic Trample, basically you run around in demon form. This thing is awesome. You're running around, you're super quick, you can knock people over. You've got 2 charges of it as well. It shares the same cooldown as your Infernal Strike. And Demonic Trample I take in every game. Whether you are using it to get to the flag, whether using it to knock people over, it can be an interrupt as well. If you don't have a kick, you don't have an in-cap, somebody's casting Greater Pyroblast, and you need to find a way to stop it, press Demonic Trample, run over them. It will stop the cast. So, next up, let's talk about gear here a little bit. We've talked about talents, so let's talk about gear before we get into Soulbinds. So talents, gear, Soulbinds. We're gonna talk about legendaries when we talk about gear here. So big thing, you can see I'm 213 item level. Every single piece that I have, for the most part, you're going to want to have versatility on it. You're going to want to have versatility. I've got a little bit of crit. I don't exactly have a perfect item optimization. I would say it's as best as I can be. Obviously, if I could hand pick on a tournament realm what gear I would have just straight big versatility on everything. But as it stands right now, I'm sitting at about 27% versatility, which is good. Now, in a perfect world, I want more. Having 28% mastery is good because it increases the bonus armor of your demon spikes by an additional percentage, right? And so that way your demon spikes mixed with the immolation aura talent that we took as well, you get a lot of armor off of your demon spikes, and you definitely having near 100% uptime on it is very useful. So again, I mean, you cannot get enough versatility. It's just very valuable right now. As far as trinkets, though, you should know, as far as trinkets go, you're going to want the PvP trinket because you're going to need to trinket to get yourself out of any sort of CC at a very critical moment. I also run with the Aspirant's Emblem right now, which is basically like the Battle Masters, increases your maximum health, if you guys remember. This will be upgraded with Conquest. I've chosen to go the route of getting my other Conquest gear before I ended up upgrading the Trinkets. That's just the route that I chose to take as far as gearing. You can see I'm 213, so I'm not perfectly optimized yet, but we're getting there, day by day. So, we talked about itemization. We talked about the trinkets. Now, obviously, as far as legendaries go, you can see I have equipped my Shroud of the Darkest Hour. Yes, this is a Havoc legendary. I do play Havoc main in arenas. So, being a 2700 Gladiator Demon Hunter, I choose to go with the Havoc first. And then I'm going to be crafting my Vengeance Legendary a little bit later on once I have the Soul Ash. It is only a couple weeks into Shadowlands here, and I don't have that much Soul Ash to choose yet. But, so this is to show you what I currently have in case you guys were to armory me and say, oh, Barndoor, you told me to play this, but you're actually tanking with this other Legendary. It costs Soul Ash, it costs gold. I understand not everybody has it. But if we want to look at legendary powers here, there are two legendary powers that I think are going to be very, very useful to a Demon Hunter tank. I will be crafting both of these eventually and using both of these depending on the team comp that I am fighting. Spirit of the Darkness Flame, this is something that is going to, when you press your Fiery Brand, it's going to heal you for 100% of the damage. So Fire Brand is a pretty decent hitting spell, and you're going to get healed up for a decent amount. It's not going to be like a heal to full type heal, but the heal will be substantial. You'll be able to notice it a little bit. But the first one that I am going to make as a Vengeance Demon Hunter tank, once I get it to drop from raid. I've been doing a lot of PvP. I haven't been raiding as much this expansion so far, but once I get the drop off of Lady Enerva Darkvein, I will be looking to craft my Fell Flame Fortification. You take 15% reduced magic damage while Immolation Aura is active. And what this legendary basically means is you've got a Warlock pressing Chaos Bolt in your face. You press Immolation Aura, and you're going to take 15% reduced damage from that Chaos Bolt because it's magic damage. So, we talked about gear, we talked about legendaries, we've talked about talents. Let's check out our Soulbinds. Let's check out our Soulbinds here. So these are going to be the Soulbinds that I'm going to run right now when I'm tanking in rated battlegrounds at high MMR. Starting off, you're going to want Pod Tender. There has been a recent change, you should all know. There has been a recent change where if you're holding the flag and you get dropped into your pod, it will drop the flag. It caught Magoo. If you're holding an orb, it will drop the orb. So, that was a change, in case anybody was wondering. But I think it's still good to have Pod Tender because if you read it, you have a certain amount of HP, right? So once you're into a pod, the comment, kill the pod. Well, if you're Havoc, it's kind of relatively easy to kill the pod. There's not that much health to go through. But if you're a tank, the health scales up with your HP pool. So it's actually a kind of harder to kill a tank's pod than it is to kill a regular pod. And for the most part, I find myself coming back to life very, very often when I go into pod. Next up, we're going to take a look at Roaring Fire. And I told you guys, Fell Devastation is a huge defensive that you're going to want to have. It is going to heal you back up when you use it. You're going to enter Metamorphosis. You're going to get that extra health bonus. And with this, Fell Devastation heals you for up to 33% more. This is massive. Guys, you can be at 20% health and heal back up to 80% health just by pressing Fell Devastation. This heal is absolutely massive, and I would say Roaring Fire is a must-have conduit for sure. Next up, remember guys, I told you, we are Night Fae. If I didn't make it very clear before this, guys, hello, we are Night Fae for our tanking. Now, this is just for PvP. I know there are PvE guides out there, and I know there's a lot of PvE demon hunters that are going to say, Barndoor, I'm not Night Fae, I don't want to be Night Fae. Remember, this is a PvP vengeance guide. And in my opinion, my humble opinion here, if you're going to be a PvP vengeance demon hunter, you should have Night Fae. So, we talked about the first conduit. Next, Unnatural Malice increases the damage of the hunt's primary target by 32.5%. This is nerfed a little bit in PvP, but let me tell you, you still have the hunt in Havoc, and it deals damage. I'm talking you're still getting 20k, 21k crits as of today. At least I don't know if they're going to patch anything, if they're going to hotfix anything in the future, but as of release today, when this video goes live, Unnatural Malice, 100% I would take. You can still massively deal damage, if not even potentially one-shot some people as Vengeance. Soothing Voice. This is another thing that's amazing for flag carrying. So if you read, when your roots or stunts incapacitating class effect expire or are dispelled, your target's movement speed is reduced by 90%. Decaying rapidly over 2 seconds. This is huge because you're running by somebody, you're running by a hunter that's trying to connect to you. You throw that in cap, you throw, you run by, you throw that in cap on him as you're going. Yes, it may only last 2 seconds because you're not specced into detainment, but after those 2 seconds, he's going to be slowed by 90%. You're going to just whiz on right by, and he will not be able to keep up unless, something else happens. Moving on, Growing Inferno. Immolation's aura damage increases by 14% each time it deals damage. I find that the damage, if they just sit there straight on you, actually gets noticeable for eventually, and with your demon spikes rolling at almost 100% uptime, with your immolation aura damage ticking dot after dot after dot and increasing by 14% each time, somebody training you, somebody sitting there on you 100% of the time, they're going to be hurting. They're going to be at 50% before you even know it. And then it's just as easy as turning on them and pressing hunt, and there it is. You just soloed somebody trying to kill you as a vengeance tank. Moving on, the last conduit that I currently have unlocked because of the current week is going to be Fell Defender. The cooldown of Fiery Brand is reduced by 10 seconds. This one I really like because Fiery Brand is something that does a lot of damage, so you're already doing so much damage. When you hunt somebody, you're going to want to immediately press Fiery Brand as well. And with it being on a 50-second cooldown instead of a 60-second cooldown, that's just all the more damage you're able to get off. So, guys, we have talked about gear. We have talked about talents. We've talked about legendaries. And we've talked about Soulbinds. next up, I want to get into some gameplay here. I want to talk to you about 2 different clips. I'm going to walk you through this, but before we get in on it, I want to remind you guys that I am live every day at twitch.tv/Barndoor, BARNDOORR, 2 O's and 2 R's. So if you want more content, you want to come BG with me. I do viewer RBGs almost every single day. Now, I can't guarantee that if you come, you're going to get in. There's a lot of people who want to do some viewer rated battlegrounds with me. But if you're out there, you want to come join the chat, you want to come hang out, you want to come ask some questions about Vengeance tanking, I'm all ears, guys. I'm all ears. So let's go ahead and get into our first clip. And this is one thing I really... hold on. There we go. It almost started playing. This is one thing that I really wanted to show you guys because, so you've seen the talents. You know the build. You're Night Fae. You're a Vengeance tank. But how do you use it, right? How do I use these talents properly? Well, let's take a look at right here. What you can see is this is a very scary scenario for anybody. This is a very scary scenario. If you look, my team is mostly dead. If you look, the enemy team is all in front of me, and my team is just coming out of the graveyard right now. I do have my cooldowns. I was able to pick up the flag, but I am alone. Nobody is near me. I've got an enemy team, and I've got to find out how to get across this map. So, the path that I'm taking right here is based on where the enemy team is currently positioning. Again, I want to show you guys, you've got somebody in stealth right here, you've got a boomy right here, you've got enemy team, and then my team is coming out of the graveyard, saved 1 or 2 people. I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. If you're a tank out there, you've ever carried a flag, you know this feeling where, oh crap, I have to get across the map by myself through the enemy team. If I wasn't a Demon Hunter tank, I would say it's a very high likelihood that I'm dead. 100%. If I'm not a Demon Hunter tank, I'm thinking, oh crap, I'm dead. But we're a Demon Hunter tank. We're Night Fae. We've got that mobility. We've got cooldowns. Let me show you how to use them. So I'm running over here, and let me just again show you. You've got a stealther. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemy players right here, and my team who just rezzed is nowhere near me. I am scared. But again, we're coming in, and we're gonna do what we can to get across that map because you're a tank, you're a Demon Hunter. It is your job to carry that flag and figure out how to get it across the map. Whether you have a team to escort you or if you're by yourself. So we're going to get into this real quick. If you see, the first thing that happens is this rogue comes out of stealth on me. I immediately throw the in cap on the boomy just because those of you guys who have ever experienced a incarnation convoke boomy, you understand why I don't want to sit there and trade with him and let him open up on me. At any point, he could just 100-0 me. Convoke full moon is super scary. I don't care how much health you have. It is super scary. So you can see I'm getting stun locked right here. This rogue opens up with a cheap shot. But I notice it's a cheap shot and not a full kidney, which immediately I think, okay, I'm cheaped. I've got the entire enemy team bearing down on me. I can't sit this. There's absolutely no way I sit this full cheap shot duration and live. I'm already at 90% health. The enemy team is between me and my team. I'm on an island by myself, guys. And if you look right here, hold on, I missed it for a second. Immediately, in the moment, I'm trying to figure out where is my team. I think they're all on the other side, but where are my healers? I look, I'm on an island, guys. I'm all by myself. I got to figure out, the entire enemy team is right here. How do I get back? So immediately, I open up the map for just a second to look. And I remember I'm a demon hunter. Let me use my mobility. I trinket the cheap shot and immediately 1 leap, 2 leap. So 1 leap, 2 leap, and soul shape. So in case you missed it, right there, 1 leap, 2 leap, and soul shape. You can see I'm still taking a lot of damage, right? I've got nobody near me. I'm on an island, guys. But 1 leap, 2 leap, soul shape. I've got mind games rolling on me. I'm at 50% health. I am still scared, but I'm in the middle of the enemy team. You cannot stop right here or you are dead. You are 100% dead if you stop in the middle of the enemy team. But my team's getting close. My healers are right here. I've got another teammate right here that supports me. This is actually my warlock. So he's doing his best to fear and coil and try to save me. But I'm not at the home stretch yet, guys. So I am running in my soul shape. I'm taking a ton of damage. I'm at 35% here, 35% health. You see that my darkness legendary is about to proc right here and drop it on the ground. But in front of me, I'm almost home, guys. I'm almost to my team. My healers are in range, but I've got mind games on me still, so I gotta live just a little bit longer. I see this warrior. 1 leap, 2 leap, soul shape, and the final key to this puzzle, guys, what is the hunt? Right? You have the hunt ability. It is basically a charge. It does a lot of damage, yes, but it's basically a charge. Use it. So just like that, immediately I hunt. The hunt actually has a healing aspect to it as well, which helps me gain a little bit of health back. And now I'm on the other side of the map. My healers are here. In front of me, I don't have enemies anymore. I only have allies. And just like that, with my team rezzing, I was able to cross the entire map by myself, get to my team, and oh, wait a second. Guess who's right in front of my entire 10-man team, but the enemy flag carrier coming down the tunnel. Now, if he's able to do exactly what I just did and make it through the entire enemy team by himself, then yeah, we're not going to kill him. But spoiler alert here, we killed him. So one more time, in real time, I want you to look at how long it takes me from the enemy's entrance to my entrance to get across to this. So we're going to take a look, right? I'm going. I get opened on by the rogue right here. Oh crap, where's my team? Okay, leap, soul shape, run. Oh, there's a warrior, hunt. I'm across the map. There's my team. I'm home safe. That was, less than 10, 20 seconds. Maybe between 10 and 20 seconds to get across the map through the entire enemy team. Now, this isn't, you won't be able to do this 100% of the time, but guys, it's not just about taking the right talents, it's about using them correctly as well. So, next up, let's take a look at our next video, which is why I wanted to show you guys, oh, it started to play, hold on. I wanted to show you guys why you should take Illidari's Grasp. I told you guys, this is a very, very good PvP talent, and let me show you a little trick here that not a lot of people know about. So, right here, we're on Seething Shore. This is another instance where I play Vengeance Tank to help spin the nodes as well, to buy time for my team to cap. And so, I'm dying, I'm spinning. I'm kind of unkillable right here at this point. And, oh, wait a second. Illidari's Grasp. But what's this? I'm capping the node. Hold on. Let's rewind that a second. Let's rewind that. What's going on? I'm coming over here. I target the priest who's kind of really close to me. And Illidari's Grasp is a 6 second CC. But do you guys know how long it takes to cap a node? It takes 6 seconds to cap a node. So if you look at this, the entire time I'm doing this Illidari's Grasp, you can't see the node capping animation because I'm in demon form with my little Illidari's Grasp beam coming from me to the guy. So what does everybody else see they see this little thing. They don't see the capping animation. They don't see the little swirls that are going around yet. They think it's fine. But Illidari's Grasp, you can move around. You can do things such as cap nodes at the same time. Illidari's Grasp is a 6-second CC. It takes 6 seconds to cap a node. Now, there is like a little microsecond at the end, depending on how fast you are on clicking the node after you queue up your Illidari's Grasp, that they could possibly spin you. But in my experience, guys, I've capped a lot of nodes like this. It's not a 100% chance, but I've capped a lot of nodes through this specific method right here. So if you look at it, he's sitting the whole thing, capping, and oh, wait a second, here's the last part that makes this so good, is that you because of our demonic talent, you enter that demon form for 6 seconds. But when you come out of it, it has all this little animation, this particle effect, this demon stuff is around you. The enemy team does not see that you are capping this node, as where you are in the last like 10-15% of capping, where you're most likely to get hit because they see you capping, but they can't see you capping because of all this stuff that's going around. You were just in an Illidari's Grasp holding somebody, and now you've got this animation that's going on all around you, and bada bing, bada boom, you just capped the node in their face, and they were none the wiser. So, guys, on that is going to be it for our Vengeance Demon Hunter guide. If you guys got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I answer almost all of my comments that's left. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel as well. You can catch me streaming just about every day on twitch.tv/Barndoor, 2 O's and 2 R's, so BARNDOORR. And that's it, guys. Have a good one.